Hello and welcome to Phone Arena's in-depth video review of the HP iPAQ Glisten. It's been a while since we've seen HP come out with a mobile phone, and they were a pretty big dominant figure in the PDA market thanks to Microsoft's mobile platform. But now with the Glisten, it sports some impressive features like an active matrix OLED display, Wi-Fi, 3G, and also a 3 megapixel camera. We'll see if we can stand toe-to-toe with some of the bigger names out there in the Windows mobile market. Although they've been out of the US mobile market for a little bit of time, we're just really impressed with the overall design and look of the iPAQ Glisten. First of all, it's going to garner a lot of comparisons with similar devices like the Samsung Intrepid. That's because of the portrait-style QWERTY keyboard. The materials they use is really compelling with the soft matte feeling material in the back, which accents well with the silver plastic sides. There is a slight weight to the device, but it's a very welcome thing because it gives you a sense of durability. Lastly, it's not too large or too bulky. It fits really well in the pocket, so we definitely like the look of the HP iPAQ Glisten. It's really nice to see other manufacturers other than Samsung utilize an active matrix OLED display, but the 2.5-inch one that HP uses has support for up to 65,000 colors. Unfortunately though, the screen doesn't have as good as a detail, and we really like to see it a little bit sharper. On top of that, whenever you do display something that's in white, there's a tendency for the screen to have this bluish color to it. Other than that, the screen is definitely responsive when you press it. Right below it, you have your hardware buttons, and of course the QWERTY keyboard is probably the biggest draw to this device. It's well sized for just about anyone to use, and really good tactile feel, so we definitely like that aspect. On the side, you have your micro USB port and 3.5mm headset jack. The welcome connectivity options there for you. On the left, you have your volume rocker. On the top, you have your dedicated power button, turn off and on the display, and another button strictly for turning on the Wi-Fi. On the back, it's a 3 megapixel camera, and when you remove the back cover, you have the battery and the microSD card slot. Right below here is the slot for the stylus. As with other Windows mobile phones, the Windows Media Player is packed on to allow you to listen to music or even watch videos. Unfortunately though, the HP iPAQ Glisten doesn't sport any new skins to make it really appealing with its tiny buttons. Luckily though, the speakerphone quality was almost pretty good. It had a really good tone to it and didn't crackle when it's set to its highest volume. We didn't have too much hiccups when watching videos on the HP iPAQ Glisten. Of course, it managed to play 2 different movie trailers that we had and didn't have any hints of slowdown whatsoever. So if you plan on watching videos on the ample size screen, you'll probably get a decent experience out of it. Unfortunately, video capture in the Glisten produced some pixelated videos with plenty of slowdown and even choppiness at times. It has a maximum shooting resolution of 320 by 240, so you definitely don't have too much of good detail in your shots. It's probably just best reserved for MMS use. One item that we found to be a big inconvenience on the Glisten was the fact that it doesn't have a dedicated camera button. So loading up the application, you'll have to actually go through the start menu to do it. But once you have it, you have a really nice looking interface which has a lot of different options you could do, even some manual ones that you could modify. As far as quality though, it produced some really good images with the 3 megapixel camera, although the colors did look a little bit washed out both in indoor and outdoor conditions, but we find the picture quality to be decent. Aside from the faint background noise on our end, we were thoroughly impressed with the HP iPAQ Glisten's calling quality. Voices sounded really normal and was dead on. When we switched over to the speakerphone, it still had really good vibrant tones and didn't crackle at the highest volume setting. When it came to battery life, we had this phone set for automatic brightness, and we had it also set to download emails every hour. We managed to produce 1 good day's worth of normal use, and it managed to survive the night and into the next day with only 1 bar left. When it came to signal strength, it managed to retain pretty good bars during our time with it, and it didn't have any drop calls. Overall, we're happy to see that HP coming out of nowhere to produce a wonderful smartphone that is really well balanced, especially with its very usable QWERTY keyboard and touchscreen. Other than that, we just want CHP work a little bit more on their personalization options on the home screen to really make it stand out and appealing. This device will work for any business users and even to extend some texters out there. If you want to check out our in-depth review, you can check it out at phonearena.com.